All right, welcome. Today, we're jumping into one of the most useful, most dynamic tools in English grammar, the present continuous tense. And look, to really get this, we're going to ditch the boring textbook approach. Instead, we're going to start thinking like filmmakers. So let's grab our grammar camera and get rolling. So yeah, to really get a handle on this, I want you to just forget all those dry, dusty textbook rules for a second. We're going to think like filmmakers. And our main tool? It's this core idea we'll use for the whole thing, the grammar camera. Okay, so here's the big idea. Think of the present simple tense as your still photograph. Click. It captures a single permanent fact. Like saying the sun rises in the east. It's a snapshot. But the present continuous? That's your video camera. It's rolling, it's capturing things in motion, actions that are unfolding right now. It's all about filming the story as it happens, not just taking a single picture. Okay, so every camera has its parts, right? Its mechanics. So let's pop the hood and look at the engine components of this tense. Basically, the simple formula that makes the whole thing work. It all boils down to a really simple two-part formula. First, you've got your power source, the verb to be. That's your am, is, or are. And then you have the action itself, the main verb with that ing tacked on the end. And that's literally it. Whether you're saying something isn't happening, or asking a question, those two little pieces are the engine driving every single sentence. Of course, English just loves its little spelling quirks, doesn't it? To get this form absolutely perfect, you just need to remember these three golden rules. First, there's the CVC rule for short verbs, where plan becomes planning. You just double that last letter. Then you've got the silent E rule. Just drop that final E like in analyze to get analyzing. Easy. And finally, the IE shift, where a word like lie becomes lying. Just get these three down and you're totally set. All right, so we know how to build it. Now let's talk about how to actually use it. I want you to think of these four main uses as your director's shot list. The different kinds of scenes you can capture with that grammar camera of yours. First up, the most obvious one, the close-up shot on actions happening at this very moment. When you say they are watching a movie right now, you're literally pointing your camera at something that's unfolding in real time. It's like the live broadcast function of grammar. What's happening now? Okay, now let's pull back. Let's get a wide shot. Our camera can also film slower, more gradual changes. This is absolutely perfect for talking about trends, social, economic, or environmental shifts. Saying prices are rapidly increasing isn't about one single moment, right? It's a dynamic process that's happening now, but over a longer period of time. Next on our shot list, temporary situations. This tense is just brilliant for showing actions or states that have an expiration date. When you hear, she is staying in London for a month, you instantly know this isn't her permanent home. The camera is rolling on this part of her life, but we know that scene is going to end. And finally, this one's a little different. We can use it to talk about the future, but here's the key. It's for confirmed plans. When the time and place are already locked in, you can use the present continuous. I am lecturing next Thursday just feels so much more definite, more arranged than saying I will lecture. It's like it's already in the calendar, it's happening. Okay, you've totally got the basics down. Now it's time to move into the director's cut. These are the advanced, expert-level rules that really separate a good English speaker from a great one. These little nuances are what give you real control over the language. So the first big secret is learning how to avoid the stative verb trap. Okay, so what are stative verbs? They describe states, not actions. We're talking emotions, possessions, senses, words like want, need, believe, own. Think about it. These verbs are already like still photographs. They just resist being put into motion with that ing form. You can't really film them. And this is where you hear one of the most common mistakes out there. I am needing more time. It just sounds wrong, doesn't it? That's because need is describing a state of being. It's not an active process that you're in the middle of doing. So what's the fix? Simple. You just switch back to your still camera. Use the present simple. I need more time. It's clean, it's correct, and it shows you really get that crucial difference between a state and an action. Okay, now this is a really cool one. It's a fantastic little nuance. Check this out. If you add an adverb like always or constantly to the present continuous, you can change the entire emotional tone of the sentence. The one on the left, he always forgets his password, is just a neutral fact. No big deal. But the one on the right, he is always forgetting his password. That suddenly becomes a complaint. You're not just stating a fact anymore. You're expressing how annoyed you are about it.
See the difference? Just one last quick point on tone. In everyday, casual conversation, we almost always use contractions, right? We say I'm, your, she's. It just sounds more natural. But, and this is important, if you're writing a formal academic paper or, say, a legal document, using the full forms, I am, you are, adds a certain professional weight and seriousness. It's all about context. Context is everything.
All right, camera's ready. It's time for the final scene. You've seen all the theory. Now it's time to put it into practice. Let's test your mastery with a quick little challenge. You ready? Okay, first one up. Look, the students prepared the classroom for the project. That word look is your big clue here. What do you think the answer is? And the answer is are preparing. Of course. That word look tells you it's an action happening right this second. A perfect time to hit record on our grammar camera. Nice. Okay, next up. Be careful with this one. This laptop blank to the English department. So ask yourself, is this an action in progress or is it a state of being? The answer is belongs. And why? Because belong is a classic stative verb. We just talked about this. It describes a state of ownership, not something that's actively happening. This is that expert rule in action. Hey, fantastic job if you caught that one. That was a tricky one. So let's wrap up with a final thought. Sticking with our camera analogy, just think about your own life for a second. How many temporary projects, temporary situations, or evolving trends are you filming right now? Because really, this tense isn't just a bunch of grammar rules. It's the language we use to talk about the dynamic, ever-changing story of our own lives. So my question to you is, what is your camera focused on today?